Hello and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Valerie and today is Saturday, July 6th, and it's time for our another weekly video on approving my transactions and reconciling my accounts. So this week I have 27 transactions that I need to approve or go ahead and reconcile them. We have quite a few that are already linked from last week. So let's go ahead and jump right into the video. So right off the bat, I'm noticing that I have two charges from my work trip that I took. So these two transactions were made at the hotel. One is paying for the actual meals and the other one was shopping. But I'm seeing that there's a few other transactions on here. This one, and this one. Also for the hotel. It automatically changed it to hotel because you can see on the screen where it says, as I hover over hotel, it shows how it was imported as Ramada because I changed it to be hotel. So that's how I know for sure that this is with the from the word trip. But this 4476 is not matching, and I don't know why it's showing that this transaction merged, because originally the transaction did show as 4461, but I'm assuming that something happened as far as like the exchange rate or something might have been off when it first was pending, because these two transactions down here from the 28th were when the transactions were pending. So I'm thinking that's what happened. So I'm going to keep this one right here, that's 4476, because that's the one that's actually reflecting in my checking account. And I'm going to delete the one that says 4461, and this is for the shopping, because right now both of the charges are showing up against my budget. So when I go to budget, it's showing that I overspent on my shopping category because both of the charges are in there. So I'm going to delete this original one for the 4461. We're going to delete it. We're going to go ahead and approve this one for work. And then we're going to approve this, the new transaction for 4476. And then these other ones that are like cents, I'm assuming that that's like international fees. So I think I have a payee for that. Yeah, international transaction fee. And then I'm going to change the category from shopping to fees, random fees. And so I'll have to move money over to the random fees category because right now I do not have any extra money in that category. So I'll be over budget until we get to the budget to move money over or move money around. So let's approve this one. Then we're going to go to this one and do the same thing. I just type in fee, international transaction fee, and then change this to random fees, Ramada, and approve that. All right, so those are good to go. Now let's go back to the bottom. This transaction was the moving money from my checking account to my Wealthfront high yield savings. So we're going to approve that. Let's try the shortcut. All right, so I mean, that's no different than actually scrolling down and clicking this, but I guess it's quicker so you don't have to move the mouse, I guess. And this is where the transaction for $330. So I move all of the transaction costs that will be for the month of July. So right now, I believe that this 330 plus whatever's in the bill account already, 363, is how much, how many bills I have to pay for the entire month. So I went ahead and moved money over to the bills account for that. So let's approve that one. This transaction is my Capital One credit card payment, so that one's good to go. And this was also a transfer of money from the checking account to the bills account. Then we have Apple Cash. I went ahead and did the same thing. So all of the transactions for the month that I knew that were going to be hitting my Apple Card based off of my scheduled transactions for like monthly, like my iCloud, my Apple Music, and I have like another like Bible app subscription on my Apple Card. So all of those total up to $24.80. So I went ahead and moved that directly to the Apple Cash. So once the transactions hit my Apple Card, I can pay them easily already. So let's approve that one. Now this was my end of the month Apple Music subscription. It always hits on the 30th of the month. And this is the transaction to the Apple Cash in the checking account. So they merged the two accounts, or two transactions, to reflect on both accounts. Again, this is the checking from the checking account. The transfer to the bills account is just showing that for each transaction, it'll be between accounts. For each transaction, there'll be two actual transaction lines. So that'll show one in the bills account and then one in the checking account, and the same for any other accounts that you have on budget on YNAB. So you will always have two because it has to reflect on both accounts. So this is just the one on the checking account, and this is showing from the bills account that I paid the Capital One, because again the other transaction was from the actual Capital One account. So let's approve that. This was my Amex charge that I had when I paid my bills for where I'm living at. So that came through. So let me go ahead and approve that. This was my end of the month Apple Cash payment to go towards my Apple Card. I had a balance of $326.36. So I paid that. Again, this is the second transaction for the moving the money from the checking to the bills. And then the second transaction for moving the money from the checking to the Wealthfront high yield savings. This transaction is interest earned on the Wealthfront account. So I earned $15.08. So I'm going to change this because I don't like the payee. I'm going to change it to interest earned. And all of my interest earned for my Wealthfront account, I'm just going to put it towards my Wish Farm items. I already moved that money. I think I did it on the budget already. But yes, it's going towards my Wish Farm. So I'm going to put it as ready to assign, and then I actually need to make sure I put that into, I budget that money into the Wish Farm. And so, yeah. Now my Apple High Yield Savings account, this was also interest earned. Now this interest earned is going towards a specific category for the Final Cut Pro. So let's approve that. This was my monthly subscription for iCloud, so we can approve that. And we have, so with my Wealthfront account, I'm connecting it with my Apple savings account. So they did the whole putting transactions into, depositing the transaction into Wealthfront just to verify the account. And so then it took the money back. So that's what these two transactions were. So I'm going to put these, what I do, because I did the same thing with Ally. What should I name it? Because I think if I change the name for this one, I want to change the name for the ones that I did for the Ally bank. Maybe I should just name it account verification money, and then I'll change the one on the Ally, on the budget for the Ally account to the same thing. So the payees will be the same. Yeah, I think I'm going to do that. Account verification money. Yeah. Or charges. And this is going to go to the random fees category. Okay, and see, it automatically changed the other one already. So, cool. Apple High Yield Savings deposit. This was more interest earned, going towards Final Cut Pro. And then the account verification, that's going to the random fees for the Wealthfront account. And then we did those two already. And now this was the Apple removing the money after verifying my Wealthfront. So it took the money back. And then we have another interest earned for my Apple High Yield Savings. And then we had interest earned for my Ally account. Interest earned, interest paid. This one is going to go to ready to assign. Oh no, for my Ally account, it's going to go specifically to the core savings for Ally. Since I only have two items that are in my Ally high yield savings account, two budget categories. One for family. I have $1,000 in my Ally high yield savings account for family because it still uses Zelle, and that's easier for me to transfer money to family's actual bank accounts. So I prefer using Zelle for that. And so, right now, Wealthfront does not have or support Zelle. So I'm keeping that $1,000 for family, friends, or whatever in the Ally High Yield Savings account. And then the second category that I still have in Ally is the core savings, which is what all the money in Ally usually goes to. That's their main bucket, per se, is the core savings. So anytime you send money to your Ally High Yield Savings account, it automatically goes to the core bucket, the core savings. So that's where the interest automatically goes. So I want to make sure I separate that $1,000 for family to the interest earned for right now. And we'll just see how much that builds up, and then I can transfer it out to someplace else. So let's approve that transaction, and everything is good and approved. So now we can go to each of our individual budget accounts to reconcile the accounts and make sure they are good. So let's start with my Navy Federal account, and we'll do my checking, my bills, my savings, and the Amex. All right, so from here it has my checking account has a balance of $1373.87. That does match YNAB right here at the top, so we're going to go ahead and reconcile that. Now YNAB automatically hides all your transactions after reconcile, but you can always just click on the view all transactions to see those reconciled transactions. And myself, I like to hide my scheduled transactions because I don't necessarily like to see them all the time, only when I need to. But for my paychecks, I don't need to actually see those on this account. Next, we have the bills account. It has a balance of $363, which does match my YNAB, so we can reconcile this one as well. And so my next transaction is going to be my monthly cell phone bill in the amount of $55. So that's going to come out tomorrow. We'll probably hit on Monday though, since tomorrow is still part of the weekend. And then my savings balance is $1,042, which has not changed, so we don't have to worry about that. Then we're going to go down to my Navy Federal Amex card. So we have one charge in here for the amount of the $162.38, and it is cleared, so we can go ahead and reconcile this balance. And then you can see my scheduled transactions that I have on my Amex card. So I have a monthly subscription to my FICO, and then I have an annual subscription for my Whoop band, and then an annual subscription for my LRA account. So that's good for all of my Navy Federal accounts. Now let's go to my Ally Bank to do my reconciling here. Alright, it shows I have $1,016.35, which does match here. So we can go ahead and reconcile this. And it does show the same, as I was mentioning before, the $1,000 family bucket, and then it has the core savings, $16.35. And we'll verify that on the budget after we finish reconciling. Now let's move on to my Apple Wallet. We're going to start with the Apple Cash. My Apple Cash is $24.80, so we can reconcile that. And then we can go to my Apple Card, has a balance of $16.40, and we do in YNAB, so reconcile. We're looking good. Everything's matching. And here are my Apple subscriptions that I mentioned. I have a monthly She Reads Truth subscription, my monthly Apple Music subscription, and my iCloud monthly subscription. And then I have 2 annual subscriptions, one for my Crossrope app and then one for YNAB. So my YNAB will be in March. And I do need to go back to oh, we haven't gotten to it yet. No? Yes. Yeah, we did. Did we do it on my Amex? No. Maybe it's on my Capital One. Yes, it's on my Capital One. Okay, so we'll get to it. I had something else I wanted to change. All right, so now my Apple High Yield Savings account has a balance of $247.61, and that is correct here. So let's reconcile this. And reconciling weekly helps because now you know that all of these transactions in the past that you've already reconciled, you know that they're good to go. So, oh yeah, this was supposed to change to daily cash. But one of them is actual interest earned, but these other two are daily cash. Because I like to separate what I earn in interest versus what's actually in daily cash when I do my reports, when I look at my reports. And if you would like to see like what I look at in my reports, just let me know and I can do a video on that as well. Yeah, because this 85 cents was my interest earned for the month. Last month was 87 cents and the month before was 68. So it makes sense to actually go down. Well, it did go down, yeah, because we went from 4.5% to 4.4 or 4.45, I think. I don't know. Either way, the interest, the APY changed, so maybe that's why it went down. I don't know, because the balance has not gone down. But yeah, so Apple is good. Let's go to Wealthfront. All right, my Wealthfront has a balance of $12,405.72, and that matches. So we can reconcile that. Looks good. And then, so we know once we get to the budget, I need to assign this $15.08. I'm not sure which. I'm probably going to assign it to my my iMac. I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's go ahead and do that actually. Let's just assign this to my iMac on my for my Wish Farm. Yeah, and then we'll double check on the budget to make sure it actually moved that money there. All right, so last one is Capital One, the one that requires a pen. There's the temporary code. All right, so my Capital One has a balance of $0. So yes, that is correct because I paid it at the end of June. Now these are the subscriptions that I have for my Capital One card that are scheduled. We have a few monthly subscriptions and then we have 3 annual subscriptions. This one annual subscription for my Microsoft account, this annual one, it comes up in November, but I think I'm going to cancel it. I think I'm going to cancel that one because I don't really use my Microsoft account, or at least the ones on the computer that you can download. And I don't use the OneDrive that much anymore. I actually just finished downloading everything from my OneDrive and adding all of that information to my iCloud account. So I actually don't need my OneDrive anymore. Most of the things in there were from school, and I'm not currently in school and haven't been in school in the last, or taken any classes anyway, in the last 3 years at least. So, and even then, I rarely used the actual desktop versions of the Microsoft Office. I use mostly the online versions and also the um, Google Sheets and Google Docs. So I don't really need an actual Microsoft 365 subscription anymore. So I believe I will be canceling that one. And so I'll make a note. I'll make a note on that on the budget, and then I'll also save a calendar reminder to cancel the subscription, because I don't know if I cancel it now, if it'll still, still let me use it if I do need to use it, which I probably won't, but if it'll still be available for me until the day before, so until like October 31st, or if I cancel it now, will it just cancel like altogether? I don't know that, but I would think that it would still keep going until the October 31st, since I've already paid it, but who knows? But yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm going to cancel that, so I'll be able to save that $48.99, and then that can go towards savings. Or if I need to, eventually I might end up having to update my iCloud as well, because I have a lot of photos, a lot of videos. Yeah, and it's starting to take up space, because right now I have 2 terabytes with the iCloud subscription for the $10 a month. But there's no gap. There's no in between 2 terabytes and 6 terabytes. So I might have to go to 6. And I think that's like $30, I think. I'm not entirely sure, but yeah. Anyway, so I've reconciled that. So let's jump to the budget. And yeah. Okay, so yes, so these are the overspent, and this was because of the international transaction, and then the account verifications all canceled each other out, because 2 of them were added to the Wealthfront, and then the third one was the total of these 2 being taken back. So I really just need this $1.02 to cover the international transaction fees. And then for the shopping, because the amount was different, because the other one was $44.61, I think, and so that amount is not the same. So we're just going to cover both of these accounts with the category, the stuff I forgot to budget for category. So I always try to keep $100 in here every month, for little things that I might overspend on, almost like a cushion in this account. So that's what I'm going to do. So I just have to click on this, and I can cover this overspending with stuff I forgot to budget for. And so now that'll be zeroed out, and we'll do the same for the shopping category. All right, so the overspending is covered, and now we're going to go to my savings view, and we're going to check out my wish farm to see if that money went there. It did. So here it's showing in the activity. It's not going to show into the assign, because I didn't put that. If I had put that $15.08 up here for ready to assign, then I would have put the $15.08 here. However, because I put the actual transaction to be going towards that category, it shows as an activity. So it went directly to this category. So that is easier. If you already know which category you want your money to go to for each transactions where you get money in, you can automatically put it to that category itself without having to put it in ready to assign. So it saves an extra step. All right. So we have $150 towards my iMac so far. And I changed my, in the last video, I mentioned how I added the view for checking. I went ahead and added a view for bills too. Because this is all my bills that I have to actually put the money into the actual bills account to pay from. Because I use my bills account because I know the money that in there is for actual bills and that I can't spend on anything else. So this money is basically untouchable except for these bills. So they're basically like they need to be funded. These categories have to be funded. Their needs. So that's what this view is for. And so I know that the total amount assigned for this month, this 363, needs to match this bill's account at the beginning of the month to pay those bills. And then for my checking account, this is just all the money that's in this checking account that's like extra that I don't have in my high yield savings account. Things that I can take from freely that I don't necessarily need currently. It's basically like actual money that I have available to pull from if I need to. So if I have a big purchase coming up and I need to fund it and I don't want to pull from my savings, I can pull from these categories right now. But once I move, these will be important categories that I'll need to be careful from moving money from. But currently, it's okay for me. So this 1,373 total assigned that shows here on the right hand side will match the checking account. But my savings view up here, this amount assigned in this column, this 14,670, will not always match Wealthfront because these savings accounts are split between what's in my Wealthfront and also what's in my Ally account and what's in my Apple High Yield Savings account. Because I have my family money in Ally, so what I put here, and then I have the core savings in Ally. And then I have my Navy Federal account. This 1,042 will be my Navy Federal savings account. That's for my actual emergencies that I need if I need additional funds outside of this 1,000 that's in my checking account currently. Yeah. But that's all for the budget. I don't think I had, let me check my all accounts. I always go back and check here to make sure there's nothing left that I need to reconcile or if I had any transactions that I need to put in, but I don't, so they're all good. I think I mentioned something that I needed to do, but I can't recall. Because today is the 6th. So the next bill is the T-Mobile bill, which I have the money in the bills account for that. And then all of my Amex, those are fine. So my Amex is not due until the 21st. This charge is going to come in on the 8th. So I already have the money in the bills account for it. Yeah, so the next, my next bill would be my T-Mobile. And then I've already paid my Apple Card, which is due on the 8th. So that's a zero balance, so I don't have to worry about that. My next credit card will be the 21st for the Amex, which I will pay next week, pretty much, I think. Because I do get paid next week. Yeah. I'll get paid next week. Friday. Well, actually, I'll have one more. So I have 2 weeks until my Amex card is due. So I have some time for that. Well, that's all I have for my video today. If you have any questions or comments on the video, please leave them in the description, not in the description box. Please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll answer them. I appreciate all the new subscribers to the channel. Thank you for coming. I hope y'all have a wonderful weekend, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.